Hey guys, PowerPup97 here with another My Little Pony episode review for you wonderful people. This week I am reviewing A Dog and Pony Show. This episode is a fan favorite to a lot of people who watch the show, especially to Rarity fans, since this episode helped boost up Rarity's popularity. So, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, Season 1, Episode 19, A Dog and Pony Show. So the episode starts with Rarity getting an unexpected visit from a famous pony named Sapphire Shores, aka the Pony of Pop. She came by to look for a new outfit for her stage performances, and it just so turns out that Rarity has made the perfect costume for her. How can you not think Michael Jackson here? Anyway, Sapphire says she'll take it and 5 more, but Rarity is all out of gemstones to work with. So Rarity goes out into the middle of nowhere to locate some more gemstones, and she brought Spike along to help her. Basically, Rarity locates with her horn, she locates the gemstones with her horn, and Spike digs them up. Of course, being a gemstone connoisseur, Spike is doing his absolute best not to eat them. And as we all know, he'd do anything for Rarity. I also personally love that scene where Spike glares at Rarity and she's like, "Something wrong, Spike?" This is about the time we're introduced to these 3 monstrous dogs, one of which sounds a lot like Gollum from Lord of the Rings. These dogs are called the Diamond Dogs. Now, with a name like that, I'm surprised nobody has ever made a reference to the David Bowie song with this episode. At least none that I know of. Anyway, the dogs want Rarity to help them find more gems. So they ambush them. Spike tries to save Rarity, but they capture her. And then Spike decides to rip off Star Wars by yelling, "Do not want." Spike runs back and gets the other main ponies to save Rarity. Of course, when they get there, there are tons of holes that the dogs are starting to fill up, making it more difficult to go down. Shows how dedicated these Diamond Dogs are to keeping Rarity. I think this episode came out when Rarity's character was still being developed, because she was still acting very girly in this episode, but that's why people love her, I guess. Anyway, Spike finds one hole open and uses the gem that Rarity gave him as bait to lure out the dogs and save Rarity. This leads Spike to having this weird fantasy dream sequence that I have no comment on. Spike gets a bite, and the other ponies form a chain with their tails, which takes them all underground. They find a lot of tunnels and don't know where to find Rarity. Spike comes up with the idea to go down the path with the most gems. Even though Rarity is the only one who knows how to locate gems, Spike tells Twilight that she can, since she's a unicorn too. Duh. Meanwhile, the Diamond Dogs are forcing Rarity to find the gems and dig for them. Of course, the dogs say that since she won't dig for the gems, she'll have to haul the wagon. Rarity keeps complaining about all the stuff that's going on with the Diamond Dogs. The dogs complain about her whining, and then Rarity makes her trademark "This is whining" speech, which everyone loves. This is about the time the dogs say they'll do anything to stop her from whining, and she insists to have them treat her like royalty. Eventually, the dogs come to their senses and decide to make do with Rarity's whining and just force her to do the work. But then she breaks out into tears when one of the dogs calls her a mule. Back to the other main ponies. They get mounted by more Diamond Dog soldiers, but they manage to buck them off. Then Spike decides to go after Rarity using Twilight as his steed, and this is one of the few times where Twilight complains about Spike riding on her back. And I say few. Most of the time she doesn't mind. But when they get to Rarity, the dogs surrendered Rarity and all the gems she found, because they couldn't take her anymore. At the end, when Twilight tells Rarity that she's about to tell Princess Celestia what she taught her, Rarity's reaction was like, "You're gonna do what?" As if she was going to reveal one of her secrets or something. And that was funny. So, final verdict on this episode. I think this is without a doubt Rarity's most popular episode. But from my perspective, I know you're all probably going to hate me for this, but I never really cared much for this episode. Even though all the episodes are the same length, this episode tends to drag, which makes it quite boring from my perspective. Also, Rarity has never been my favorite pony, so it's kind of hard for me to enjoy it. I know pretty much every other brony out there loves this episode, but I hope other bronies out there... But I hope you'll at least respect my opinion. That's what a lot of you should do, but it's what most fanboys don't do. So, that's about it. So, so I guess I should now reveal the episode I'm going to review next week then, huh? Well, since winter is coming to a close, I say to celebrate the occasion, I shall review Winter Wrap-Up. So until then, Powerpuff 97 away!